Now read on.
Not false accusers.
Not false accusers.
Not given to much wine.
Not given to much wine.
Teachers of good things.
Teachers of what?
Good things.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Child, if he doesn't do this, you make him sleep in the doghouse.
Well,
child, let me tell you, if that was my man, he wouldn't do it no more. Teachers of good things. If there is a problem with young men getting married, once again, the men don't know who they are. That's our crisis. That's something we've got to live with. They don't know who they are, and they marry a woman who knows who she is, and she doesn't help him out any by being taught the bad things from the older women. Treat him like a dog, then he'll respect you. Isn't that something? Treat him like a dog, and then he'll respect you. That's what I used to hear older women tell younger women. Don't be too soft. You're going to spoil that old blankety blank. Okay? 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 You're going to spoil it. Breathing their hostilities into the younger women so that the younger women become a mirror image of themselves. And the man who has no identity marries that girl. And the influences, the voices from outside, makes things home too hot for him to stay. And he runs. On the be ye men, he ought to stay. But because most of the males don't know Jesus, they don't stay.
that's right.
Women, you can win your husband by your chaste conversation coupled with fear. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Okay, if they cannot be won by the word, they can be won by your life.
Man.
Older women, you've got to teach the younger women this point. They've got an advantage, especially if they're black. They've got an advantage. They know who they are. They were raised with the mother. So be ye women according to God's design. Be ye women according to God's purpose. Be ye women and contribute to the rest of God's creation what he wants you to contribute.
Yes, sir.
Older women, be teachers of good things. Read.
That they may teach the young women.
That they may teach the younger women.
To be sober.
Wait a minute. To teach the younger women to be serious. Read.
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands. The Greek word here is not the same word in Ephesians 5, agape. This word is phileo, and it does not mean love, but it means teach the younger women to, look out now, watch this, to like their husbands.
My Lord.
A whole lot of women I know don't like their husbands. They'll cry over his grave. Oh my God. Oh, Johnny Reed. Oh, we had such a good thing together. They talked about him like a dog all his life, disrespected him, called him all kinds of names, and he could not do anything right as long as he lived, as far as they were concerned. As far as their mother was concerned, the other influences in their lives were concerned. And this text says, here is the remedy. You teach the younger women to love or to like their husbands. Now wait a minute though. Notice, if it is to be taught, then it cannot be learned by osmosis or just by feeling or whatever, okay? There is a technique, this text says. This text presupposes that there is a technique to liking someone. And this technique must be taught. Something else, when I looked at this text in the original, the word teach there would be better translated train. I used to box. And when I would go to the trainer, you know what he would do? Here's the difference between teaching and training. Teaching, I teach you, you either get it or you don't. But the trainer says, you throw a jab like this, he shows me. And then he makes sure that I can do it before he puts me in the ring. Older women are not training women before marriage how to like men. I don't know how many women I've counseled who have come to my office, and I've given them what's called the Taylor-Johnson temperament analysis test and the family history analysis test, and we've looked at it and developed a composite picture of them and found out that they hated men, but they were married. Can you imagine that? They had a hidden agenda for men. They hated their guts. My goodness, I said, wow. How in the world? This guy doesn't have a chance. Nothing he ever does will be right. And he's got to live with someone who hates him. She's got an axe to grind. Something happened in her past that she's never processed. And because she's never processed it, she has a chip on her shoulder and an axe for this man. What's the remedy to that? To all of these hidden agendas and all of these past things that's happened. Older women teaching younger women how to like their husbands. The idea there is also to be fond of their husbands. Man, oh man. The reason why a lot of men leave their wives is because their wives are no longer fond of them. The girl outside is fond of him. Even if he's old and have a big stomach, they'll rub his stomach and say, I love your daddy belly. Okay? Okay, all those kinds of things, all right? They're fond of him. I had a session with a girl called me crying because her husband was really crazy, okay? I can say this guy, I mean, he's always pulling pistols up and shaking them in front of her face and you just don't know. I'll go. And this is how he accentuates himself as a man. You know, and she's crying to me saying, Kinwood, how in the world am I going to be able to deal with this guy? And the sad thing, what really hurt me, the sad thing that hurt me most was that there was no older woman for this woman to call. She called me and I said, look, girl, let me tell you something. God has created you with a gift. He made you, he designed you to complement your man. He gave you a side that a man really needs. And you're not using it. When he comes home today, tight-jawed, as soon as he walks through the door, I want you to walk up to him with a house coat, with something nice under it, with it kind of open halfway down, and then I want you to unbutton his two top buttons of his shirt and then rub his chest and say, you're such a fine man. And I am glad to be your wife. And then I want you to watch him melt. I saw the guy the next day. He had a smile wrapped around his head 3 times. He told me he had been a fool. He's got the best woman ever. I called the woman up and she was giggling. I said it worked and she just and she made me a German chocolate cake and happily ever after, okay? You've got to use the tools that God made for you. God did not make Adam and Steve, he made Adam and Eve. Quit trying to be like a man. Quit trying to respond to men like men.
That's good preaching.
Older women, you teach the younger women how to. Teach them the technique. Oh, boy. I mean, just the smile and just going over to him, just rubbing his face. Kissing him on the cheek. And he's hard. And he just softens right up, okay? God made you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But see, your bad orientation, the chips you have on your shoulders, I'm not going to do it. That soft side doesn't mean anything to me. That's all he thinks about is sex. That's all he cares about is this. That's all he cares about is that. God is saying, I made you to compliment that man.
Yes.
Walk up to him and then after you've tamed him, say, honey, I'd love for it to be like this all the time between us. But it hurts me so bad when you do this, that, and the other.
All right, that's good.
But honey, I do love these things about you.
All right.
The positive strokes.
That's all right.